Hey guys, Jexie here. Welcome back to another video. So in today's video, I just wanted to say A, happy Thanksgiving, and B, talk a little bit about how we can get through today without completely falling apart. Because I know a lot of people are struggling, especially with everything that's gone on this year. As well as this time of year is just hard for a lot of people. So I thought we could chat about it just a little bit and yeah. So, a couple things. First, I want to apologize for the lighting. The sun is in and out, and I could change it up, but I am celebrating Thanksgiving with my family in a bit, and I'd rather actually record this and get it out right away than worry about that kind of stuff. Also, too, I'm not really sure how the camera is going to work. Usually I use a separate webcam, and this time I'm using my new computer's camera, so just interested to see how it plays out. So we'll see. So if it's weird quality, weird lighting, I apologize. But again, all right. So look, for those of you who aren't in recovery or not in a recovery program, you may not know the slang that is used, but from Thanksgiving to Christmas, we call this hurricane season, and there's a reason for that. In recovery, we tend to lose a lot of people to overdose and, other issues between now and the new year. It's a tough time. It's a tough time for a lot of people, and specifically this year, right? 2020 is been a rough year for most people, regardless of whether you're in recovery or not. And I really think that it's important that we acknowledge the fact that this year's a little bit different than most years. Thanksgiving and Christmas time are hard already, right? They're already hard. A lot of times we spend time with family who may drink, who may, use whatever, right? And if we're trying not to do that, it can be difficult. I've been very lucky. My family doesn't, drink or, do other things, and people I spend time with. I know a lot of people are alone this Thanksgiving. The kids and I are going to go to my boyfriend's house. We are wearing masks while we were there. The only reason I actually feel safe going there is my family and his family are both pretty good at the quarantine thing. And I spend enough time with my boyfriend that our families are kind of exposed to each other anyway. So we felt it was safe, but it was a very long discussion between his family and me about whether we thought it was okay, especially because his father's going to be going through radiation at the end of the month. And we don't want to take a risk of him getting sick. But as I said, the kids and I will be wearing masks when we go. But I think it's important, right? So my boyfriend's also in recovery, as you guys know. And, having other family members in recovery or your partner in recovery, makes things a lot easier, right? You don't have to stress about, being the odd one out, right? Am I the only one who's not going to be drinking? Am I the only one who's not going to smoke? Whatever it is your family does, it makes it harder when it's just you. And I think that, having somebody with you who knows your status in recovery makes things easier. Now, that's not always possible for a lot of people. I've been really lucky. You guys know, I'm super open about being in recovery, and that's really important to me, right? I'm open in public, right? I am part of who I am as somebody who's in recovery. And it's the whole reason I started a YouTube channel to begin with, is because I felt like we always know when people are dealing with addiction, but they get into recovery and it's very quiet and we don't really hear about it. And I think that in order for people to have hope that they can get better, that things get better with recovery, is they need to see people in recovery who are saying hey, things get better, right? It's not to say life is perfect. Life on life's terms can be really, really hard. I think 2020 sums that up perfectly, right? But, we have to understand that holidays are tough. And they're tough for people in all different things. When somebody deals with a death in the family, the holidays are always really tough, right? It's the first time doing things without them. So I think it's important that we understand that it's okay if we have a harder time during this time of year. That's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. I think so often, we feel guilty if we have a hard time. And, it's unnecessary, right? Like, you don't have to feel that way. Um, Earlier this month I celebrated 8 years clean, and it's a number I never thought I'd hit, right? Like, it's so far beyond like anything I could ever have imagined when I first got into recovery. But like, this year's kind of brought a lot of those feelings back, right? Like the isolation, the being by myself, just all sorts of stuff. And I do want to say, like, it's caused me to reevaluate how important gratitude is, right? Like, you hear it all the time, like a grateful addict will never use, right? And I didn't really understand that. But the fact is that it's so easy to get caught up in the negative. It's so easy to be like, this year sucks, people lost their jobs, people have lost their homes. There's so much that has happened, right? People have lost family members. Like, one of my family members passed away. He was 98. He was in a nursing home. But yeah, like, COVID is hurting people, right? It's hurting families. And regardless of what your thoughts are, like, losing family is hard, right? But like, it's caused me to reevaluate gratitude, right? Like, man, I'm really lucky. And I'm grateful for so many things. Like, I'm not going to lie. This is almost 2 years of me having a channel, and it's obviously still very small. And that can be really frustrating, right? Like, it does cause me to not want to post as often, right? Like, feeling a little like nobody cares what I have to say. It's not that big of a deal, right? But on the flip side of that, like, the last few months I've been so grateful, right? Like, how lucky am I that I have almost 900 people who actually care to listen to what I have to say? Like, that's insane. Like, never would I go someplace where, like 850 people would be like, I care about what you have to say. Like, that's insane. So, like, really taking gratitude to another level, and thinking about, how grateful I am for everything. Like, my daughter went through like a whole lot with her mental health this year, and like, she's in a really good place right now. Like, I'm so grateful for that. I'm grateful that my family's been healthy. I'm grateful that, I was able to work enough with the census earlier in the year that, like, I have enough money to get through the end of the year. Like, what we're going to do in January and December, I don't know. But I have enough money to like make Christmas happen. I have enough money to like pay my bills in December. And like, that feeling, the fact that I have people who support me on Patreon, like, that's insane, especially since I very rarely like put stuff there. Like, I'm very clear with people. Like, but I do want to expand. Like, part of what I want to do over the next couple months is really do more with this channel, do more with Patreon, like, just do more. I enjoy it, and it's just not safe out there right now so much, and I think that I have this opportunity to really like upload more and talk more. And the way I show my gratitude for the channel I have is to post more regularly. So anyway, please tell me what you're grateful for this year. Like, with all the craziness, like, leave in the comment, tell me what you're grateful for. If you don't subscribe to my channel, please do. It helps me. Once I hit 1,000 subscribers, I can actually live stream from my phone, which seems like a thing that's not that exciting, but I was able to do it when I first started my channel, and I loved being able just to log on real quick and do a quick live stream, like, while I'm out and I see something, or I think of something I want to talk about. Let me know what you think of the video quality, and I know the lighting is going to drive you nuts, because it's driving me nuts just looking at it. But yeah, we'll get back to doing trivia soon. And I look forward to see what the rest of this year comes. And, like, look, this may be a hard time of year for some people, but it can also be a really good time of year. So let me know. Let me know if you're struggling, if you're grateful. Like, let me know where you're at. I miss you guys. I'd love to hear more about what's going on with you. And I don't know, I guess I'll talk to you guys soon. Bye, everyone.